Hello, everyone. My name is Jennifer Ramirez, and I'm the founder and executive director of And Rise. And Rise is a nonprofit organization, and we believe that women thrive on building and sustaining strong connections with one another, some in which assist in forming our futures. In order to help facilitate these bonds, we are passionate about highlighting inspirational stories of triumph and motivate all that attend our events to accomplish any and everything that they want in life, personally or professionally. A little bit about me. I'm a sexual abuse survivor. I was abused at the age of 7 by a close family member, and I went through life making mistakes and not realizing that most of the bad decisions I used to make were attributed to the abuse I endured at a young age. My abuser was a narcissist, and I was in relationship after relationship with narcissistic men. I was with men who treated me badly, cheated on me, used me, abused me emotionally, and I honestly thought it was normal. This was a learned behavior for me growing up with a narcissist. I grew up, I grew tired of living the negative lifestyle and I wanted a change in my life. I had to really dig deep within myself to see all the negativity in my life, and I made a conscious effort to break cycles. It was not easy. It did not happen overnight, but I was determined to live a better life. And I began reading self-help books and going to therapy, which really helped me a lot. Once I really started becoming in tune with that inner voice, call it God, call it intuition, whatever you'd like, everything started becoming so clear. Once my healing began, I knew I wanted to help other women by sharing my story with them. Because of everything I went through, sexual abuse is a topic that is near and dear to my heart, and it is my mission to bring more awareness, education, and change to the stigmas around sexual abuse. I am so very, very excited to introduce you to the author of Surviving Trauma, Tachianna Ortis. Welcome, Tachianna.
Hi, thank you for having me today.
No problem. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And I'd love for you to share your story with our guests. She has an
Thank
amazing
you,
story.
thank
It's very
you.
inspirational. So,
Hi, so I am the author of Surviving Trauma, and I had endured trauma through pretty much the age of 2 till in my late 20s. I was in the foster care system, separated. I was beat pretty severely as a child. Punishments were just too much. I was molested from the age of about 7 years old to 14, 15. And then I just started that cycle of abuse in my life of just self destructing through alcohol, through men. Um, I was raped by 3 men at around 21 years old. And I never told anybody. I just took the blame on myself and not even calling it rape at that time. And then I was in the relationship with a military policeman, and he would punch me in the back of my head and drag me out of the bed in the middle of the night. And I would just wanted love. And I didn't know that this wasn't love and this wasn't what it wasn't normal, because it was my normal. And I was in prostitution for quite a while. I was also a stripper, I was a dancer, and I had a pimp. And the pimp jumped on my back while I was sleeping and just started to choke the life out of me in front of my children. I hit rock bottom. I said, this has got to change. This isn't normal. And it was like that sick and tired of being sick and tired moment that I needed a change. And I didn't know how to necessarily do it by myself. So I surrounded my people with people. I'm a woman of faith, and I surrounded my with church family, and I find my way out through Christ. And so that's how I became an overcomer and a conqueror. And now I'm no longer a victim. And we're here to tell you guys that you guys don't have to be victims, that you guys can be survivors. So back to you, Jen.
all right. Thank you for that. Yeah, so I have a couple of questions for you. What made you realize that you wanted that change in your life? Like, what was maybe the situation or that final thing that was like, okay, this is it?
Just being dog walked, not loving myself. I couldn't look in the mirror and like, you're an amazing, wonderful person. I hated myself because when I looked in the mirror, I just saw everything that I had been through in life. And I wanted to just be happy. You know, I was walking around with a fake smile and just drinking to mask the pain. So it was just like I literally was holding the pressures of everything I went into on in my heart, and I didn't know how to release. So when I finally started that release process is when I was like, oh my gosh, I just started feeling lighter in life and just laughing. I was able to laugh again.
Yeah, that's really important. And some people that might be watching this, maybe you'll just make them realize, like, wait, when was the last time I laughed or smiled? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So the next question I have for you is, what was the hardest thing about changing your life?
Thinking I was good enough,
Yeah.
thinking that I was worthy to be loved, and just admitting that my molestation and my rape and a man punching me in the back of my head was not my fault.
Hmm.
Now, there was times that I could have left, but I didn't deserve to be punched in my head. I was 7 years old when I was molested. Why was I saying that I am dirty? I
Yeah.
wasn't dirty. That was that person's sick issues. You know what I mean? And I didn't need
Yeah.
to hold them in myself anymore. So I was like, I love me. I am my biggest cheerleader. And I don't need to find somebody else's approval to be happy anymore.
Yeah. I love that. And that honestly was life-changing for me as well. And I think as a trauma, going through sexual abuse is really, it is traumatic, and it does make you feel like you said, dirty or not good enough, or like there's something wrong with you. And that's because of what you went through, because it's not a normal behavior. So something bad happened to you, but it's not your fault, though. That's the thing. You guys all need to realize it's not your fault, and you're not dirty, and you're normal, and God loves all of us. We're all here
Yeah.
to be loved and to be the best that we're supposed to be, no matter what we've been through. And that's why I'm doing these videos and events, to let women know that, because although we might feel that, that's not what it actually is. But it's the trauma that tells us inside that that's what it is, but it's actually not. All right. So next question. What is your advice to women who are struggling with trauma or addictions in their lives?
Seek help
Hmm.
and be honest. I was going to counselors, but I wasn't being honest. So what was the point? I
Yes.
was like telling them, oh, my boyfriend's mad, or I have mom issues, which I did have mom issues. And
Yeah.
I did have issues with the boyfriend, but I wasn't saying how wounded and how broken I truly was. That I felt like I was just poop on the bottom of somebody's shoe, that I literally felt like I didn't matter. I was suffering with suicidal thoughts because everything that I went through. And I wasn't telling people how my depression and anxiety was just like this bag around my neck and I just couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
But when I started to be honest and let people in, because we have this wall app that we don't like to let people in that safe place anymore. So let it out to the right people. Because
Yes.
if you're venting to social media, if you're just venting to your girlfriend, which is nice because you can cry on their shoulder, but they don't have that medical background that you need, that therapist background that you need to say, sis, let's get out of this situation. They're gonna be like, girl, I'm dealing with the same thing, and you guys are gonna cry and get drunk together, and then you're gonna not change.
Cycle of life. Yeah.
And yeah, and then I also had to be willing to get rid of friends.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a big part of I really wanted to change, and I changed my whole entire life.
Yeah.
I stepped out of the bubble.
Yeah. And we've talked about this before, about
Yeah.
sometimes having to eliminate those people who we might not, might not even be toxic, but when you're healing and when you're um, kind of progressing in your like
Mhm.
mental and emotional, like self, sometimes those people have to be left behind because they're still in that old state that you were in. And sometimes you have to,
Mhm.
and sometimes it's really hard. I've talked to Tachianna about this myself, that I had to let go friendships that it hurt. Like felt like a really bad breakup, but worse. Like it really affected me, but I knew I had
Yeah.
to let them go. And as far as you were saying about getting the help, yes, that's what helped me immensely. Like I said, it's therapy. If you can't afford therapy, and Rise provides therapy and counseling free of charge, so that you can go, to somebody who's licensed and that can give you the right advice and, help you out. That's why I want to do that for women, because sometimes we can't afford therapy, right? So that's
Mhm.
something that I want to provide to women from And Rise. And also, like you said, being honest, that's so important. There is no point in going to therapy if you're, not talking about all of it, because then how are they going to help you fix that really deep stuff that you want fixed if you're not telling them about it, or not being, like you said, honest about everything. And it might feel embarrassing, but it's very, very healing the more you talk about it. I know it sounds really cliche. I always thought it was cliche when they say the more you talk about your abuse, the more or healing it is. And I used to roll my eyes and be like, yeah, okay, that sounds so stupid. But here I am. Now I'm doing like events and videos around these things, because it really is. And I want to help other people, and sharing your story with other people, you could be helping other people too. So, and you have to also remember, when we are silent, the only person that's helping is our abuser, not us.
Yeah.
Doesn't do us any good, because we're just holding that in and holding that in. So it only benefits the abuser. So talk about it. You don't have to go talk about it on Facebook, obviously, but just to someone you trust, or like a therapist or something like that, So yeah, so thank you for that, Tachianna. And where can our guests find you, or where can they purchase your book?
Can I just add one more thing to
Oh,
what you just said,
of
if that's
course you may.
okay?
Yes.
Awesome. So you have to know, like, as women, we're fixers, right? Like, we'll be willing to fix our friends and our sisters, but now it's time to fix yourself.
Yeah.
And sometimes to fix yourself, you need to be secluded away from the mess that's going on around you, so you can really focus and uproot that damage that's happened to you. We got to pull it by the root,
Yeah.
not just keep cutting off the surface of your issues. I just wanted to add that in there.
No, thank you for adding
um,
that. I
you
agree.
yeah. You can follow me on Facebook at Tachianna Ortis. And then I'm so sorry. What else
Can you,
did you ask me?
yeah, can you just spell the name out in case they don't know how to spell it?
Yes, Tachianna Ortiz, Ortis.
Okay, cool. And then where can they purchase your book?
My book is going to be released soon in the next couple weeks. So if you just follow me on my page, we're going to do a pre-sale flyer, and I go lives and I talk about just deeper stuff that I didn't talk about on here that I have been through. So like injuries and just a lot more deeper stuff. So
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure. Yeah. And like I said, guys, I've talked to Tachianna for, I feel like hours. We've been on the phone, a lot of phone calls
Yeah.
together, and she's great. She has a really great story, and she's just, as you can see, her aura is amazing. She's very
Thank
positive,
you.
and she loves helping women too. And that's why she's doing
Yeah.
this, to help women as well. So thank you
Yeah.
so much for being here with me. I really appreciate you coming out and spending
Thank
some time and
you.
talking about this. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye.